Hey, what's up guys? Towels here with a late season Project Diablo 2 video. This time I'm revisiting the sacrifice build that I've showed in a previous video, which I'll link above right here. Now I'm doing a one-handed physical version. So now I'm switching over to Schaefer's Hammer with Alma Negra, and also want to highlight this Heavenly Garb armor that I'm using as well. So the one-handed physical sacrifice build does get an IIS frame benefit. So it's able to reach 8 frames per attack, whereas the two-handed version caps at 10 frames per attack. You really do notice this while mapping, and especially when you have to swing 2 or 3 times in order to kill your enemies and get that explosion damage going, then it does make a difference on how smooth it is to play this build. So this Schaefer's Hammer here, obviously very GG. I love the damage that I'm able to get on it, but it's kind of optional, to be totally honest. It's not that big of a difference as far as clear speeds, even in T3s like Ruined Cistern. And then with this Alma Negra, similar to the Lyrics, I am able to get a Joust cooldown reduction, and so I get a overall 1 second cooldown on Joust, which is again just absolutely key for being able to map quickly with this build. Heavenly Garb, I want to start by talking about how much enhanced damage you do get from this build. So Sacrifice comes with a whopping 2000 enhanced damage just from the skill. You are running Fanaticism. You also have a Wisp going, as well as I'm using a Might Merc, and so I'm really up there with like 3000 enhanced damage already. So you can have options here like an enhanced damage crafted armor, which I can show an example of here. But that's just not going to add nearly as much as if you debuff your enemies. And so that's why I'm running Heavenly Garb here, because the Sanctuary Aura, some folks doesn't know that this has a major effect on undead enemies, where it absolutely reduces all of your undead enemy physical resistance directly down to 0. So it could be a physical immune undead monster, it could be 75 physical res, 50 physical res, it doesn't matter, it automatically goes down to 0, which is a massive debuff, right? And then with my Act 5 Mercenary, I'm also running Cyclopean Roar and Vile Husk for amp damage and Battle Cry. So that's additional physical resistance debuffs, which proc all the time given that I am telestomping with Joust and he's running Innocence Armor. So you'll see that in this clip where I get an absolute massive explosion in the sewers map. They're not all like this. This is the best one. There's a reason why I clipped it. And actually, if I go into slow motion on this, you'll see that it's the amp damage procs right away, and then right before the explosion happens, you can see the battle cry pop out also, and so that's why all these things combine. And I believe there's something going on with potentially like splash damage also popping the explosion, because this is a very wide range that's happening too. So all of that combines together for kind of the best performance that I've got with it. So the rest of my gear is similar, and I think pretty much the same, except that I've now stacked MF, right? So I'm using this gold wrap. I'm focusing on increased block rate, increased block chance, because of how much HP it gives me. Life at 2.1k over here. And so you can see without the IBR slam, it does increase my block chance by quite a bit, and so that saves a lot of dexterity points, which lets me pump vitality even more. I am able to stack 300 magic find on this build, which I really like, and with that, that's due to a couple of smaller charms, and I do run a Geeds as well. And other than that, I'm primarily running these Pally combat skills with life, and I have one random max damage grand charm here just because it matches. So with that, I do consider this to pretty much be a budget build, though. The ethereal version of this is really not necessary. And then, so what I'll leave you guys on is this recording of a sewers map. So I am going to show this as basically a time trial. So it's not a realistic run, but it's no loot, really messy, like 80% clear, right? But this is just like a time trial just to compare. So this run I'm able to do in just about 4 minutes. So it's definitely not the fastest. There are far faster builds, like all of your Ormus Sork builds this season, which are reaching like sub 3 minutes on this map, but it's still plenty fast in my book. It is really fun to play. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for reaching out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.